imali, chelete is important. So let us look at how much you can expect to earn. So first up, if you are a junior lawyer, newly qualified lawyer, you can expect to earn between 200,000 to 500,000 annually. This would be from 17,000 to 42,000 per month. Hi, Sanmonani, South Africa, and welcome to this episode of Career Genie. Today, we are going to be reviewing the career of being a lawyer, what it means to be a lawyer, how to be a lawyer, when to be a lawyer, and basically the journey that you have to walk before you actually qualify or you are able to call yourself a lawyer. Let's start off with the definition of what is a lawyer. So a lawyer is a professional who is licensed to practice and provide legal advice to clients. They represent individuals or organizations in legal matters. They advocate for their clients in the courts, they draft legal documents, and they help navigate the legal system. Let us look at some of the responsibilities and duties of a lawyer. First up, a lawyer would be responsible for providing legal representation. Let's take a good example. Let's take the Senzo Meyiwa case. The people that speak on behalf of the accused or the plaintiff and defendant are called lawyers. So they represent clients in legal proceedings, including court trials and negotiations. Number two, they provide legal advice. So they provide counsel on legal issues and offer strategies for resolving legal problems. If a stumbling block emerges in the court case, then the lawyer would have the duty of resolving that issue. Number three, they do research and analysis. They conduct thorough, deep dive research and analysis of laws, statutes, and case precedents to support client cases. Number four, they draft documents. They prepare legal documents such as contracts, wills. When you die or just before you die, you draft a will that basically outlines what you wish to happen with your estate and your assets, etc. And pleadings. Number five, they provide client communication. They maintain clear and confidential communication with clients while also maintaining professionalism. Number six, they negotiate settlements and agreements on behalf of clients. What does this mean? This means that they will ensure that their client pays as little as possible or gets a lot of money as possible out of that court proceeding or case or whatever. Number seven, ethical compliance. They adhere to ethical standards and legal regulations, ensuring confidentiality and integrity in all professional conduct. And lastly, number eight, they conduct court appearances. They will represent clients in court and present evidence and arguments effectively. So let us look at what happens in the different sectors. We have two sectors. We have the public and the private sector. Let us look at lawyers in the public sector. So lawyers in the public sector would tend to work for government agencies, non-profit organizations, or other public institutions rather than private law firms. And their roles would be as follows. You would have public defenders. So they would represent individuals who cannot afford private legal counsel in criminal cases. Then second up, we have prosecutors. They work for the government to prosecute criminal cases and uphold the law. Number three, we have legal aid attorneys. They provide free or low-cost legal assistance to low-income individuals and unserved communities. So these would be your pro bono, these would be your free governmental lawyers or legal practitioners, etc. Number four, government counsel. They would advise and represent government agencies or officials in legal matters, including regulatory issues and litigation. Let's say, for example, SARS wants to take you to court because you owe them tax. They would first consult with their legal counsel in order to find out what's the best way that will protect themselves and also make sure that you pay the tax, because this is state-owned money. This is taxpayers' money. So this is what they would do. Number 5, judicial clerks. So they assist judges with legal research, drafting opinions, and managing court proceedings. So you'd find that you'd go to perhaps a high court and you'll see all the officials that process your documents and that basically take you step by step. Those would be judicial clerks. Number 6, policy advisors. So they work on creating or analyzing public policies within government departments or think tanks. Let us now look at lawyers in the private sector, lawyers in law firms, corporate legal departments, or solo practitioners. First up, you could become a corporate lawyer. So a corporate lawyer would advise businesses on legal matters, including contracts, mergers, acquisitions, compliance, and regulations. For example, you'd have Edcon, who sold their businesses to some of the other retail groups to TFG, for example. The company would have been dissolved, and then those would have involved the legal team in order to distinguish how that acquisition would happen and what would be required legally for that to happen. Then second up, we have litigators. So they represent clients in civil or criminal lawsuits, preparing cases for trial and negotiating settlements. Number 3, we have transactional attorneys. They focus on drafting and reviewing legal documents related to business transactions such as contracts, real estate deals, and financial agreements. A lot of these lawyers would be in like your private companies, but we are going to touch base on what type of private companies and basically some of the examples thereafter. Number 4, we have family lawyers. So they handle legal issues related to family matters, including divorce, child custody, and estate planning. For example, if Mamaga Enzo wants alimony or maintenance from Babaga Enzo, and Babaga Enzo doesn't want to pay alimony or child maintenance, even though Enzo is living with his mom, then Mamaga Enzo can go to a family lawyer and find out what's the best way to go about that proceeding to ensure that Babaga Enzo is able to provide a meaningful contribution to the child's life as a father, right? Number 5, intellectual property lawyers. So they deal with issues related to patents, trademarks, copyrights, and trade secrets. Let's say Bill was working for company A, right? And Bill decides, hey, I could do this in my own capacity and still keep the money. But Bill has been working there for so many years and he knows all the secrets. And he has been made to sign a contract that stipulates that he cannot work for another company for the next 10 years with all of the company's secrets, right? Because it would obviously be a loss to them. Then Bill decides, okay, listen, I am going to start my own thing, or I'm going to partner up with another big company in order for them to provide resources to me to start this out. And Bill basically doesn't respect or follow the terms of the contract he signed. Then he would, that company A would have the right to consult with the intellectual property lawyers in order to say, hey, you've signed this restraint of trade, and to say you're not allowed to go and work for another company or start your own thing with our company's secrets that help us succeed. So that's what would happen. And then lastly, we have retail estate lawyers. They assist with property transactions, zoning issues, landlord and tenant disputes. So if you've rented a space, someone else's space, or you have been a landlord before, you know there are a lot of issues that come with being a landlord. There are a lot of issues that come with being a tenant. Sometimes there's disagreements. It's just the human nature. This is where real estate lawyers come in. Let us look at the education that is required to become a lawyer, right? But in actual instance, there's a lot of hard work that goes into the career path before you actually qualify. So first up, you'd have to obtain your law degree. You have to earn a Bachelor of Law, LLB degree from a recognized university. This typically takes 4 years and covers various areas of law. Number 2, you'd have to complete your practical legal training. After obtaining your LLB, you must complete a practical legal training course. Number 3, you must serve your articles of clerkship. Complete a 2-year period of practical training known as articles of clerk under the supervision of an experienced attorney. But we will discuss this more in detail. Number 4, pass the admission exam. You must pass the relevant exams, including the board exam set by the Legal Practice Council. Number 5, you must apply for admission. After completing your articles, exams, you can apply for admission to practice as an attorney advocate in South Africa. This involves a formal application to the High Court, where you will be required to demonstrate your suitability for practice. And then lastly, you must register with the Legal Practice Council. So that's a professional body in order for you to be admitted and to be a professional under that professional body. Here are the universities that you will be able to study at, or that would be great for you to study to obtain your degree. Number 1, University of Cape Town. Number 2, University of Witwatersrand, Wits. Number 3, University of Pretoria. Number 4, Stellenbosch University. And number 5, University of KwaZulu-Natal. How long can it take you to fully qualify as a lawyer? It can take you 7 to 8 years. Here's the breakdown. Number 1, your Bachelor of Laws, LLB degree. It can take you 4 years to do the undergraduate study. Number 2, practical legal training. It can take you approximately 6 months of specialized training after completing the LLB. Number 3, articles of clerkship. 2 years of practical work experience under the supervision of a qualified attorney. Number 4, admissions examination. It can take you whatever time, it can take you any time for preparation and passing the necessary exams. This does not have a specific duration. If you feel you're ready tomorrow to write them, then you might as well do so. Let us look at the salary you can expect to earn as a lawyer or as a legal practitioner. We all know imali, chelete is important. So let us look at how much you can expect to earn. So first up, if you are a junior lawyer, newly qualified lawyer, you can expect to earn between 200,000 to 500,000 annually. This would be from 17,000 to 42,000 per month. Then we would have mid-level lawyers with a few years of experience. Their salary could range from 500,000 to $1 million, which could equivalent to 41,600 per month to 83,300 per month. Lastly, we would have the senior lawyer. Experienced lawyers with a lot of years under their belts, quite the experience. They can expect to earn $1 million to over just $2 million annually. This would equate to 83,000 per month to 170,000 monthly. Which professional bodies would you have to register with in order to fully qualify as a lawyer? First up, we would have the Legal Practice Council. This is the main regulatory body for all legal practitioners in South Africa. It oversees the admission and regulation of attorneys and candidate attorneys and ensures compliance with ethical and professional standards. Second up, we have the Bar Council. This is only for advocates. If you are pursuing a career as an advocate, you will need to be admitted to one of the regional bars in South Africa. This could be the Johannesburg Bar, the Cape Bar, or the Durban Bar, which oversees the admission and regulation of advocates practicing in that area. Let us look at the industry progression requirements that you can estimate to find within the profession, right? We don't want a case of you qualifying as a lawyer and then all of a sudden, like, you've been, on the hasty side, irritable side, when you find out there are actually progressions and updates that you need to keep on par with. So in the legal environment or in the legal community, you would have to be always up to date with the different laws that are enacted, the different laws that come about, the different progressions, amendments, updates to laws, different case laws, and basically any world event that comes about that can impact a law coming into effect or one getting updated. Example, when COVID hit, when COVID happened, we had new regulations that required us to keep distance, to sanitize, to basically adhere with health safety requirements, right? So you would have to keep up to date with updates such as those. As one of our last points, I am going to provide you guys with some of the companies that could possibly hire you, that could give you your first break or your last break. Yes. So some of the companies that would hire you could be law firms, whether it be international, whether it be local, such as Bowman, Gilfin, Gifilian. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but you guys are more than welcome to provide a comment on how to pronounce. But Bowman, Mabonya Attorneys, Homo and Associates, Cliff Decker, Hoffmeyer, Webb Wenzel, Edward Nathan Sonnebergs, and Showman Law Incorporated. Hope I'm pronouncing that right? So these are some of the law firms that could hire you. You could also be hired within the corporation space. You have your NASPES, you have your MTN Group, you have your Sasol, you have your Anglo-American, then you have your government agencies. This would be the Department of Justice and Constitutional Development, National Prosecuting Authority, NPA. We've been hearing a lot about the NPA of lately. The South African Police Service, SAPS, the Department of Home Affairs, etc., etc. And then you have non-governmental organizations, right? You'd have the Legal Resources Center, you'd have the South African Human Rights Commission, you'd have Section 27, and then we'd also have financial institutions, your Capitec, First Rand Bank, Standard Bank, Nedbank, ABSA, etc., etc. Then you'd have your educational institutions, your universities, your colleges, and basically your educational facilitated institutions. And then lastly, you'd have your legal aid organizations. So it would be all organizations that provide free, bono, pro bono, even paid services to the public. So yeah, that is round about it for becoming a lawyer. This is the whole journey that you'd have to go through. You'd have to do some more research in order to find out what's the in-depth details in order to actually qualify, because this is just an overview site. You can go onto sites such as Indeed, Careers24, LinkedIn, to provide more, to acquire more job-related skills. You can have a look at some of the posts, what they require. And basically, that would be just a highlighted outline of what it means, what is required for you to become a lawyer. Thank you so much, guys, for staying tuned in this video. Please do like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.